The Tour de France is more than just a bike race. It's one of the world's most grueling sporting events, with a history full of oddities, drama, and outright strangeness. If you're new to it all, here's your ultimate beginner's guide, peppered with some of the most bizarre and surprising facts that make the Tour unlike anything else in the world. The Tour de France is a multi-stage bicycle race that takes place every July. It usually lasts around 3 weeks and includes 21 stages covering around 3,500 kilometers around France and sometimes other countries too. The terrain includes flat roads, punishing mountain climbs in the Alps and the Pyrenees, and a final iconic sprint finish in Paris on the Champs-Élysées. Despite being a team sport, each team has 8 riders working together. Only one rider can win the Tour. The overall winner is the rider with the fastest time across all stages. But teammates play a massive role, protecting the leader from wind, chasing down rivals, and sacrificing their own chances to help them win. This team dynamic is one of the most fascinating and confusing elements of the race. Another oddity of the race and the team aspect is the rider leading the peloton, the main big group on the road at any point during the race, is not necessarily leading the race overall. That rider might well be on team duties, trying to keep the pack contained, trying to set a certain pace to stop other riders breaking away, or might be in a breakaway himself, while the team leader is tucked away inside the peloton, protected by his team riders around him to shelter him from the wind and help him conserve as much energy as possible. The Tour de France was actually invented to sell newspapers. That's right. The race was created in 1903 by the editor of the French sports newspaper L'Auto to boost sales. And it worked. The Tour became a national obsession and has been held almost every year since, even surviving 2 world wars. And the iconic yellow jersey for the race leader was chosen to match the yellow paper the newspaper was printed on at the time. There are 4 main jerseys in the race. The main one, the iconic one, for the fastest rider around France is the yellow jersey. That is the main prize on offer, but not every rider entering the race has a chance to win the yellow jersey. And there are other jerseys that can celebrate other aspects of performance a rider might have or specialize in. For example, there's a green jersey, usually won by the best sprinter in the race, Mark Cavendish or Peter Sagan, those type of riders who don't stand a chance in the overall. They can't climb in the mountains, but they can sprint very well indeed. There's also the most distinctive jersey, the polka dot, red dots on a white jersey for the best climber in the race. In past eras of the sport, riders will really focus on the climbs and try and win the polka dot jersey. But in the current era of racing, it tends to be won by the yellow jersey as well. And then finally, there's a white jersey for the best young rider in the race. But that, in recent years, has also been won by the overall as well. Here are some bizarre facts you just won't believe about the Tour de France. The first tour had only 6 finishers. That's right. In 1903, 60 riders started a race, but only 6 completed all the stages. Roads back then were rough and unpaved, the bikes were heavy, 15 kilograms or more, and riders had to repair the bikes themselves. Number 2, in early editions of the race, some riders would hop on a train to skip hard parts of the race. That's right, they got on a train. Not surprisingly, they were disqualified when caught. Number 3, this is a very famous fact about the race. In 1913, Eugene Christophe broke his fork and had to weld it back together in a blacksmith's forge, a rule that required him to do repairs alone. But he got penalised because the boy pumped the bellows to keep the fire going. I mean, how tough is that? Number 4, if a rider can't continue or misses the time cut, they're picked up by the broom wagon that sweeps up all the riders who abandon the race. A sad but iconic symbol of the Tour de France. Number 5, it's legal to pee on a bike. Yes, it happens. With stages lasting 4 to 6 hours, nature calls, and you can't stop and go to the toilet in a hotel by the side of the road. So riders will relieve themselves while riding along slowly, putting the bib shorts down and trying to pee while not getting dropped from the peloton. I don't recommend you try that at home. Number 6, they descend faster than you can drive down the mountains. On long alpine descents, riders like Tom Pidcock regularly hit speeds over 100 kilometers per hour. on skinny tyres with no suspension or body armour. That's faster than most highway speed limits. Number 7, the yellow jersey can change during the race a lot. If a rider gets a mechanical or crashes or loses time and has a bad day, they can start a day in yellow and lose it by the end of that day. It's very rare for a rider to have the yellow jersey for the entire race. And in one year, the yellow jersey changed 7 times in one tour. The fastest tour in terms of average speed over 3,500 kilometers was a mind-blowing 41 kilometers per hour. For 3,500 kilometers, people, that is insane. That was in 2022 when Joni Vingegaard won with an average speed of 41.84 kilometers per hour over mountains, cobbles and time trials, almost double what I can do on a much shorter ride. And given that speed, riders burn up to 8,000 calories a day. On a big mountain stage, riders can burn through thousands and thousands of calories, the equivalent of about 35 bananas or 3 large pizzas. And whereas in the past, riders would stop for food and water along the route and fend for themselves, and there's a famous story of riders during the race descending on a bar and just raiding all the whiskey and beer the bar had. These days, the team and the riders have a support car handing out bottles of high concentration energy drink and gels and other high quality, high end, high tech energy products. The riders depend on team cars with spare bikes, wheels, mechanics and hydration. Each team has a fleet of vehicles packed with spare bikes, tools, wheels, food and tech. These days, riders have a team car with spare bikes and spare wheels, but it wasn't always this way. In the early years, riders had to fix their own punches, and back then, tyres were glued to the rims and they carry spare tyres around their shoulders and neck. These days, even the longest stage is nothing compared to what they raced back in the early 20th century. In 1919, there was a 482 kilometre stage, longer than most entire races today. Riders started before dawn and finished well after sunset. The now iconic finish in Paris is a relatively modern tradition. Before 1975, the tour often ended in random locations, including velodromes. Velodromes were very popular during the early 20th century for a finish of a bike race. It's hard to imagine life without the Tour de France, but it wasn't always guaranteed to be the success it is today. The 1904 Tour nearly ended the race forever. In just the second edition of the race, fans were physically attacking the riders, others were caught cheating, and 4 of the top finishers were disqualified, including the winner. The founder almost shut the race down entirely. The fans and spectators like to bring the atmosphere to the race, and they like to dress up too. From the devil with a trident chasing a race up the road to a man in a Borat suit, the tour attracts the most outlandish fans on earth. The devil is real, sort of. Fans love costumes, and none is more famous than Didi Sent, a German who dressed as a red devil and chased riders up mountains with a trident for over 20 years. And many of these fans camp out days in advance on the climb to stake out a good spot to watch the race. The Tour de France is equal part sporting spectacle, travelling circus and cultural icon. For all its seriousness and focus on performance, it has an undeniably weird and wonderful side too. Whether you're in it for the racing, the drama, or just the guys in banana suits, there's no event like it on earth. And it's all this that makes the Tour de France so appealing and so exciting and so much fun to watch. Got any other bizarre facts I missed in today's video? Let me know by dropping a comment down below. And if you want to see some of the best bikes raced at the Tour de France, then watch the video right up here.